And welcome to the Midday Show. I'm Jeff Everett. He is Mark Messina. We're both just trying to stay warm. We're going to talk about Milton's chair giveaway. I'm only half joking there. A modern day train robberies. They are alive and well, unfortunately. And then last but not least, we're going to talk about sad Cowboys. We're going to get there eventually. Before all of that, before I ruin your day, Mark, how are you feeling today?
I feel good. I'm broadcasting from a new location just because I was behind a little. Then I know your computer wasn't going to work, and I could have made it in anyway. But yeah, I'm good. I noticed we're all going with black. Yeah. We're kind of dressed accordingly, and you would like it. It's dark here, but yes. I don't know if you can tell with our lighting. I don't know, but anyway, be that as it may, I feel fine. How do you feel?
I'm feeling okay. It's funny, just the new year and then all the COVID stuff and now the snow. It just feels like 2022, like the tires are spinning, but nothing's happening. Do you get that vibe like for the start of the new year?
No, I don't think, not really. The thing that I remember this from coaching basketball before, and you had told me this, one of the best things about coaching basketball is it just makes the winter go so fast. And when I'm looking at the calendar and thinking it's almost February already. Somebody's at the door. I had to check because I locked it because I don't want anyone barging in while we start. But the fact that, we're going to wake up tomorrow, it's going to be February. And I know I'm exaggerating a little, but it just seems like it's gone so fast. And again, I keep telling, I tell you, I feel like I'm dodging raindrops. Did I tell you the meme? Did we talk about the meme that the guy said, if you haven't had COVID yet, it's almost like that elementary school dodgeball game where the front line has been all picked off and you're in the back, like trying to, and like I had COVID last year. I had COVID last February, but like, I want to say I had the real COVID, this one kind of like everyone has it and I haven't got it yet. And I feel like I'm on borrowed time. Part of me just wants to get it and get it over with. But, I don't know. So kind of each day I wake up and I'm waiting for the day that my throat hurts and my head hurts and I can't breathe. And I just haven't had any of those yet. So I don't really know how to feel.
Would you trade a Cowboys win to get COVID?
That's a good
question.
The
thought. Look at the thought
process. And this is why. My immediate response was yes. Okay. But I've seen this movie too many times, and that if I traded for one win, we would just give it away next week anyway. So like
that's true.
I don't know.
True.
Well, we'll talk about the Cowboys.
We're gonna get to them first. Let's dive into the snow. First of all, the snow was awful, and I know some people love talking about the weather. Other people talking about the weather is so boring. This was so unique. Obviously, lots of snow Sunday into Monday, but the crazy part was the 40 degrees on Monday for most of our coverage area. I know the northern tier didn't quite get up to the 40s, but it made everything mushy. And then you wake up this morning, the temperature drops back down. Outside my door, it is just like 6 inches of just like crusty ice and just like immovable. It's bad. It's not great.
Well, it is. It's crazy because yesterday it was fine once it got warm. And then this morning, I know Montoursville had a 2-hour delay. Did other places have 2-hour delays?
I think a lot of people did.
So, yeah, it is that time of year. So, I don't know. It could have been a lot worse. I think it kind of worked out well that it came around the holiday time anyway, because I guess it messed things up a little bit, but not very much. But
yeah. So you at Baltimore, I believe you talked about this before. You had to shovel out your spot in Baltimore when there was big snowfall. Okay. So for those of you who are part of Facebook, in the Northumberland Sunbury online garage sale Facebook group, I'll say that one more time. The Northumberland Sunbury online garage sale Facebook group. Somebody posted, it's that time of the year again. Monday the 17th kicks off the official start to the annual Curbside chair giveaway. How it works: if you live in Sunbury, Mount Carmel, or Shamokin, just find the chair of your liking that is left on the public streets for your taking. As you drive around, you can see that many residents are already participating in this annual chair charity. No questions asked. One person's old chair is another's golden throne. Happy Chair Charity Week. And then posted pictures of these surrounding areas with people claiming their shoveled out parking spot with a chair, like a dining room chair or a plastic chair or whatever that they could find. And I found this hilarious.
Well, I have a buddy who lives in Baltimore, and he lives in downtown Baltimore, like the row home sections. And parking is such, like, I'll go to his house and stay, and you will drive for blocks. And there are times that I park 4 city blocks away from his house just because you're trying to find some place that's an open spot. And when they get one, like in front of their house, they don't want to go anywhere because they don't want to move the car. Because they know when they move the car and when they get back, who knows where they're going to park. And, you know, in the city, you don't want to have park your car somewhere that you can't see it. Because so it is, yes, for people that don't have a driveway or a carport or a garage or something, when you just have like on-street parking and you're battling with the neighbors, it can be an adventure.
I wonder how the chair started. I've seen people do various things. I've seen, obviously, if you have cones, I've seen people set up cones. I used to see in Lock Haven, I would see cinder blocks. People would literally set up 2 cinder blocks to kind of like protect their spot. I don't know if the idea is they're just heavier, so people are less likely to just like move them out of the way quickly. I used to see the old wooden benches as well in Lock Haven. Do you know what I'm referring to?
Mm-hmm.
They're just like the wooden board bench, and they would just like flip them down in the spot as well. So it was always curious.
Did you ever see the Cheers episode where Woody was laying in the street and everyone thought he was injured?
No.
And they were all gathered around him. And then all of a sudden you heard the car honk, and it was Sam pulling in his Corvette, and Woody hopped up and he's like, "I saved your spot for you, Sammy." You never saw that one?
I've never seen that one before.
Yeah, that was good.
That's pretty great. So yeah, the chair part though, I never would have crossed my mind to put a chair, but I think that's what the majority of people use. Is it just because everybody has a chair? Is that
it's probably easy? And you see them. It's not like your recliner from the living room. It's like the plastic furniture chair that no one's using now because it's freezing out. But
some of them though, but some of them are like, some people use their legitimate like dining room furniture to save these spots.
I guess. I don't know.
I found it hilarious. Let me look up the guy. It is
funny. When you sent it to me, I was like, "What is that?" You're like, "No, they're just saving parking spots."
I should give credit to the person who posted it. It was J.E. Barnhart. J.E. Barnhart in the Northumberland Sunbury online garage sale. I have not laughed that hard in a while, J.E., so thank you for that. Appreciate it. If you do see a chair in Milton, please don't take it. And please don't take their spot as well. They probably took some time shoveling it out. Fair enough?
Yes, I agree. And I wonder what the unwritten rule of it is, that if you shovel it out, you get to keep it till the next snowfall? Like, how does that work?
That's a good question, too. I mean, is it just until the snow melts, until it dissipates?
I don't know.
I don't know the rules either. I'm not sure what is the protocol. Good question.
Yeah, I don't know.
This was the other one that you had not heard about this until I just said it to you. The modern day train robberies. This is going around social media, and the news is actually starting to catch up with it as well. In Los Angeles, there is a subsection of trains, delivery trains for shipping. Amazon uses them. I believe UPS or USPS.
UPS.
Thank you. I cut.
No, I was just going to say UPS is United Parcel Service. USPS is the U.S. Postal Service. So they both do the same thing, but I think you're looking at UPS.
Okay, so they use these trains essentially off the Pacific and start heading the other way. However, there are people standing nearby with bolt cutters, hopping onto the back of these trains. They are clipping the doors open, and then once they're getting open, they are just throwing the boxes out of the train. Then they hop off, they rip them open, see what they can find, and they are leaving the boxes discarded. If you get a chance to look this up, the photos and the videos are very in a weird, like they're kind of spooky, they're kind of surreal. It does look very like apocalyptic, like it's bizarre. But there are just boxes, cardboard boxes after cardboard boxes surrounding the train tracks in Los Angeles, and people are getting their stuff stolen off of these trains, almost like a modern day train robbery, something you would see out of a old school Western.
Minus the exciting horse ride up alongside it when you jump on. I mean, they had to work a lot harder.
No horse required.
No horses, no hobos that are already stowed away. Maybe there are hobos. I don't know. That just isn't part of the story. But yes, it is a different twist.
So here's some stats on it. Train robberies in Los Angeles. I cannot believe this is a real stat. Train robberies in Los Angeles are up 356% since 2021. That's a staggering number. I can't believe they had the numbers from before to compare it to.
Right? Well, yeah, every year we go through how many train robberies there are. You know, how many duels there are at the saloon. You know, how many we have all those things.
So in the last 3 months, they've made over 100 arrests of active criminals vandalizing trains, according to the LA Police Department and Los Angeles Sheriff Department. Here's where it gets crazy. The studies have shown this is no longer going to be, they don't label it as a misdemeanor. So essentially what happens is anybody who's stealing off of these trains, they don't end up going to jail. They essentially end up getting a night in jail and get slapped with a fine and then are tossed back out. And you said that's essentially, it sounds almost as if it's a fee for doing business.
It is. It's like you have to pay for your kiosk. So you're just renting your space, except you're renting your space on the back of this train, and you get a free night. You get a free night stay, a couple warm meals. They send you home. Like, I think they're making it way too convenient for the criminals.
Yeah. So according to the LA Police Department, after being arrested, individuals are released from custody within, not after, within 24 hours with a small fine occasionally. So some of these people aren't even being fined.
So, yeah. So part of their job description is you go rob the train, you spend less than a day in jail, and then you go home. Depending on how successful you were in the robbery, you take a couple days off, you live it up, you may get slapped with a fine, and if not, then you go back and you rob another train. You go back to jail, you take a couple of days off. It's a good living.
When you think about it, it's not an awful living at all. It's pretty bonkers that these people are just being tossed back out and being told what to do. But again, if you get a chance, check out the photos, check out the videos. It is a very surreal sight to see. And it is funny. I have, like, in my head, I mean, how many, that has to be more than just one count, right? Because now obviously you're disrupting the U.S. Postal Service, but even just like it's hijacking. Essentially, it's hijacking, is it not?
Yeah.
I mean, I know you're not holding a knife up to like the driver's neck, like the conductor's neck in this case, but like you are essentially hijacking a train.
I would say. And
then to just 24 hours later be released. I don't know. It seems bonkers to me that that's a thing.
No, I had a teacher friend back in my earlier life who when he was talking about in-school discipline, but I think it would work here too. He goes, forget like detention and in-school suspension. He goes, I think we should bring back the stockade. He goes, let's take it. If a kid acts like an idiot, let's just go put him in a stockade in the middle of the hallway. Let all the other kids, he's stuck with, let all the other kids come by, slap him in the face, throw food at him and stuff like that. He goes, I'll bet kids would straighten up. So let's take all these train robbers. Don't put them in jail for a day. Let's just put them in the stockade in the middle of town and let everyone walk by and spit on them and slap them and things like that. I bet it would curb some. I bet all of a sudden the train robbing job would not seem as enjoyable.
You're kind of hitting a little bit of a point that they're making. So part of I guess we'll call it an excuse. It feels like an excuse. Part of the excuse for not holding these people or charging them with anything. In LA, they're saying that crime is associated with increases in poverty, which has increased during the pandemic. So the county's directive has intended to combat social ills that come from misdemeanor convictions, such as difficulties with employment, housing, education, government benefits, and immigration. But to me, that sounds like a bad circle, does it not?
Yes. And I'll say this, and because we live in our own little world, so we don't
Sure.
hear where you can't find enough workers. It just doesn't seem plausible that there are other places in the world where people are really hurting financially because of COVID and can't go fix it. Because here we have a worker shortage. So you just kind of assume they do everywhere, and maybe they don't everywhere.
Mhm.
But here no one has to resort to a life of crime because of COVID. They can have jobs to pick from. So,
Sure.
I don't know that I'm not sure if that's an excuse or I'm not sure.
No, it's a very fair point. Let's talk about the Cowboys before we go today, because we're gonna have a shorter show today because we started late. Do you want to? I don't know if I want to just give you the floor because I feel like this is going to be a 5-minute monologue, and I don't want to do that. However, I felt like the end of the Cowboys game, even if you would have won, I don't know if it would have been enjoyable because you had so many things happening to help you win the game down the stretch.
Well, I don't
Do you
even know where
understand?
to.
Do you
Yes,
understand what I
yes.
mean by that?
Let me about I have my group of college friends who, of course, are all over me during this game. And there was something happened. I think it was right after Garoppolo threw the pick. We're down 16 or whatever. I don't know what the score was. And maybe 13. And I said, here's what's going to happen. We're going to cut it to 6. We're going to get close and we're going to lose anyway. And I said this with like 8 minutes to go in the game when we were down 13 or whatever, because I've seen this happen so many times. I don't know. There's part embarrassment. It's just we're the only home team that lost. We're whatever. This was supposed to be our year. We can't beat a team with a winning record. All this crap. This is the thing that drives me nuts. And from a coaching aspect, you will get this. From a mathematical aspect, there is this belief in football that if you win the toss, you defer, because we're such wonderful coaching geniuses that we're going to go in at halftime and we're going to make these adjustments and we're going to outsmart the other people. Here's the stat that I want to know. And I actually have a friend who's been an NFL. He's been a statistician for CBS Sports for 100 years. He can probably find me the stat. I want to know what percentage of teams that score first win. And not in basketball, because basketball, there's a million points, but in football, in baseball, and in hockey, where scoring is hard. I want to know what percentage of teams score first win. And I want to know in football what percentage of teams that are winning at halftime win. So my belief is you want to get the lead and play with the lead. The Cowboys are home. The Cowboys are juiced. They win the toss. We defer. The Niners are on the road. They're the underdog. They're trying to be. They go out on the field. They drive it right down our throat. They score first, and we never come back to tie it. Now, the whole time our offense is sitting on the sidelines. They get stale. They watch the other team. They go. So what if the Cowboys take the ball first and drive down and score? And the very same thing happened to Green Bay last year against Tampa in the playoffs. They won. They deferred. Tampa scored first, and Green Bay never caught up. And when you have the home crowd and the home momentum, and you're the favorite, and the other team knows they're the underdog and they're supposed to lose, why wouldn't you want to go get the lead and play with the lead? And I have never understood that in golf. When you're the objective in golf is to tee off first. So you get out in the fairway and you put the pressure on the other people. Like, I just don't get this idea. Like, well, it's okay if we're behind because we'll fix it. Guess what? We don't fix it. And they lose. And they get behind, never caught up. So that's the stat. I should have looked it up. But it drives me insane. They will always do it because it's this old boys club. I can't stand our coach, but that's another topic for another discussion. And here's the other thing. I'll bring this now. And I know this is what you wanted. You wanted a 10-minute Cowboy monologue. So we go with the quarterback draw with 14 seconds to go. We can't get the next playoff. We can't get the ball spiked, all this other stuff. Did you see the post-game press conference with Mike McCarthy, the coach of the Cowboys?
Uh-huh.
He comes in arrogant as all get out, and he's like, it was the right play. We should have had time to execute it. There was a problem with the officials, all this stuff. How about you come in and like, listen, we thought that we would be able to do it. Obviously, we miscalculated. It didn't work out. But for him to come in, like, as arrogant as can be, like, he has all the answers. We're the most penalized team in the league, which means we have zero discipline, zero. And our coach comes in we totally screwed up. We ran our own clock out. And he comes up in front of the podium like he's a genius and says it was absolutely the right thing to do. Like, show a little bit of reflection, show a little bit of humility. And when you get fired, which he won't because Jerry Jones doesn't fire anyone, but he should, and will never be any good as long as we have him. Other than that, it was a great day.
All right. So let's clear one thing up. The final play was a Prescott problem, not a McCarthy problem. We do understand that, right? Because Dak could have slid as soon as he got the first down.
Well,
he ran, without looking back at it, he ran an extra 8, 10, 12 yards. I mean, he ran a full first down, and the first down was 2 inches. Like, he did not need to run the extra 4 or 5 seconds.
It wasn't even fourth down, right?
No, it wasn't.
I mean, my thought at 14 seconds ago is take 2 shots at the end zone. And I don't know, McCarthy came in, he goes, what would you rather have, 4 verticals from 20 or 4? Like, I don't know. I'd rather have 2 Hail Marys than nothing. I don't know.
Well, see, the 4 verticals from 20, that makes no sense to me because I don't mind them saying, like, let's just get the first down and be done with it. The issue that I have is, like, if you're on the same page, get the first down and slide. Like, you don't need to go the extra 10 yards. That's the McCarthy part that I don't really understand about that.
Well,
because
the other aspect is, I understand why you can blame Dak. And I know they talked about Dak, that he handed the ball to a lineman. He didn't hand the ball to an official. I get that. This is a play that's never run. I'm 50 years old. I've watched football for 100 years. I have never seen a team in this situation run quarterback draw, hoping that they can. And they knew, like, it's not like there was 30 seconds. The ball got accidentally kicked to the ball. Like, there's 14 seconds. And they knew they had to run this precisely. Has it ever been practiced? Has it ever been? And the other aspect is, as much as you practice it, the where it hinges is how fast the umpire reacts and runs up to replace the ball. You can do it to perfection, but if the umpire isn't aware and the umpire isn't there, and he's probably 60 years old or whoever.
I thought the umpire did you a favor. I thought he made a valiant effort to try to make sure that you guys were able to snap that football.
Well, no,
you
if
disagree?
You watch, they can tap the ball and place it. He picked it up and moved it.
I mean, he moved the quarterback and 2 linemen out of his way to get to where he needed to go. And he didn't even come all the way back up when he grabbed it, he put it down. Like, I don't know. I thought he made a really valiant effort to let you snap it.
This is what I know. Hey, you're going to have to keep it down because I'm live on the air. Don't swear. Please don't swear. Okay, good. This is what I know. The Cowboys find very, very curious ways to lose. We are entertaining as all get out. Whether you love us or whether you hate us, we are must-see TV because of stuff like that. And I don't know what else to say.
So can we back up for a second? First of all, what was San Francisco doing not guarding the sideline at all? Like, at all. Like, for 3 straight plays.
Chris Massey is a 49er fan. And I'm a Cowboy fan. And unlike the rest of the world who talks trash to each other, we're just like, my team is stupid. No, my team is stupider. And at the end, I'm texting him. I was like, we have no business being this close. And he says, our coach is doing everything he can to keep you guys in the game. And it goes back and forth. And at the end, we agreed that both of us tried to screw up as best we can. We just did it better.
I've never seen a team work the sideline as easily as you guys did that last like 30 seconds before the QB draw.
With no timeouts.
With no timeouts.
Obvious what it was. It was
San Francisco just gave. And then, I don't know, do you remember this? This is, okay, because I don't know which is worse. San Francisco had to blow a timeout because they tried to guard the sideline, and there was nobody within 10 feet of the hashes or in the middle of the hashes. Did you see that?
How about the time? Yes.
Wait, slow down. So then, not only is it awful that you have to call that timeout, you're now giving Dallas a timeout to like get their stuff together, which only makes what happened to you guys even worse than what it was. If you guys had no timeouts and this would have happened, then I understand. Like, then it all makes sense, right? Like,
now, no one's been here all morning. Now people are flooding in the office. Like,
bring them on. Like I'm sure they want to trash the Cowboys too.
So how about this? How about we run a fake punt, the greatest fake punt of the year? We get a first down, but then we're gonna quickly line up and run another play, except the fact that they use a different ball to kick with. So the officials have to take the time to switch the ball out. So right. we're standing there for 30 seconds with our punter still on the field. Instead of just running our offense back on the field and playing offense because it's 1st and 10, we stand there for so long. Then we decide to bring the offense. We end up taking a delay game penalty. And it took like a minute.
That's a good one.
How does this happen?
No, that's a great one. Here's another one for you. How about Garoppolo has never not gotten a QB sneak on 4th down ever. He is 100%. He's like 24 for 24, 25 for 25. In San Francisco, instead of just running a quarterback sneak, did you see the motion they tried to use?
They put like the tackle in motion.
I
texted Massey right after it happened. I said, for a team that needed 3 inches, you got a little too fancy right there. No, I'm with you.
He's 25 for 25. He's never not gotten it. Just tell the lineman to stay still and fall over. And like they try to put this guy in motion, and it's like, what are you doing?
So here's the thing. We played a team who couldn't cover the sideline, who jumped off sides on a 3-inch quarterback sneak because they put a tackle in motion, and we still lost.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. This is the other problem I have, because I had told you before with the Cowboys, I thought you really relied on turnovers the first half of the season, and it really, you guys had these massive swings in these games, and I thought it made you look a little bit better than what you were. I think you were a really good team, but not as good as maybe what some people thought. However, I forget Ezekiel Elliott is on your football team. Like, what is the point of having Ezekiel Elliott if you're just never going to, like, is Dak Prescott that good that you guys can just plan your game around the idea that Ezekiel Elliott just doesn't exist?
Well, Ezekiel Elliott's not what he used to. We have run the tread off of that tire. Like Tony Pollard's better right now, but no, Dak. I mean, people love Dak, and he seems like a salt of the earth person. As far as quarterbacks go, he's a B plus. Like he misses too many open guys. He's not Rodgers. He's not Brady. He's not.
But I guess what I'm saying is, but none of what I'm saying is about Dak. It like you're only like there's a lot of quarterbacks that will tell you like they're only as good as like their game plan or as their running back or their ability to move the ball on the ground because it opens up everything else. I watch these Cowboys games and it just feels like they're just like, well, Dak will just have to do this. And it's like, why would you ever assume that should be the game plan? That you're just going to assume Dak will do X? Like, I don't know.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Makes
but to me, it all goes back to the coin flip. Let's take the ball and get the lead.
It's a fair point. I'm curious what your stat would say as well. Anything else before we go? We're going to head out.
No, I'm good. No? That's it.
You're good.
That's all I got. Thanks for ruining my day now, getting to relive that Cowboy game.
We had to talk about it at some point.
If you watch the Eagles game and you watch the Steeler game, like which game was the most fun? Let's be honest. Even if you had no dog in the fight, we make it fun.
Yeah, fun being the key word. Thank you guys for watching the Midday Show. Thank you to Weiss Markets for being our sponsor. And be sure to go to NorthcentralPa.com for all of your local news.
Hey, we'll see you.
Hey, I'm Jeff Everett. He's Mark Messina, and we will see you tomorrow.